Los Angeles Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa this afternoon on Kababayan, LA. We all know that he is a product of immigration. Right about now, he's going to talk about his grandpappy, and you see him misty-eyed. But you know what? It's not only that. Mainit na mainit po ang usapan ngayon tungkol sa SB1070 from Arizona. And he also has strong words, very, very strong opinions about that. Let's watch this.
I always talk about Grandpa Pete. Grandpa Pete came to the United States of America 100 plus years ago.
Okay.
I think the year was 1903. He came here with the shirt on his back. He came here with very little education. But he came here with the sense of the possible, that here in America, that you could do anything if you worked hard. And he worked in the fields. He picked crops. He started a small business that grew to a larger, very successful business in the 1920s. He was an example of the American dream. And then he lost all his money in the Depression. His wife left him. He had to be a father to 2 girls. He, as part of the greatest generation, made many sacrifices during the Depression so that we could be the great thriving democracy that we are today. And I'll tell you something, I believe that America has always been enriched by people like Grandpa Pete.
He's your...
He's my mother's father.
Okay.
Came from Leon, Guanajuato, Mexico. And whether they come from the Philippines, Korea, China, whether they come from Mexico or El Salvador, whether they come from some country in Africa or Europe, this is the city of America's hopes and dreams. And this is a country built on the backs of immigrants like Grandpa Pete.
Okay.
So when I see the scapegoating, when I hear the cacophony of hate that some would like to direct toward the immigrants, I just can't buy it.
Okay.
That's not the spirit of accepting and embracing immigrants that Mother Liberty has always been about.
So you're not a fan of SB1070?
I'm not only not a fan, I oppose it. I helped sign a resolution to boycott Arizona because I believe this is unconstitutional, what they're trying to do.
Right.
I believe, remember, it's not just AB 1070, or it's not just Arizona Law 1070, rather. That's one thing, where they target immigrants for local enforcement, where they say the #1 priority of the municipal police departments of Arizona is enforcing our immigration laws, not enforcing our laws against violence or homicides or property crimes, but enforcing immigration law. But if that was just it, that would be one thing.
Okay.
But remember, they also passed an executive directive that said if you have a heavy accent, you can't teach English as a second language. They're proposing that you remove children who are citizens, who were born to the undocumented, remove their citizenship, strip them of their citizenship. They're proposing, they've passed a law saying that you can't teach ethnic studies in our schools. They're even proposing that if you're undocumented and you can't show that you're here legally, that they can close or turn off your power. You can't have electricity.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, when you look at the anger and the polarization that they're creating with 1070, it is the wrong way to go. And there are other states trying to replicate what they're doing. And so what President Obama has decided to do, what the Justice Department has done by intervening in this lawsuit, I think is the right thing to do. Now,
do you think it's enough, though, what he's doing?
We also got to say to the federal government, you have a job.
Yeah.
And what the failure to enact comprehensive immigration reform that secures our borders in a post-September 11th era that says that we have every right to enforce the rule of law and our immigration laws, but also do so compassionately and in the tradition of a great America, is I think what we should all be about.
Right.
And so my hope is that the federal government is going to hear that the collective anger, but also the strong support for immigration reform as the answer to 1070.
Right.
We've got to remove the vacuum that's been created when the federal government has failed to act. And so I say it's not on President Obama. He's made it clear where he is on this issue. He supports comprehensive immigration reform. It's on the Congress.
Lawmakers.
It's on the Senate, particularly the Senate Republicans, on the congressional Republicans. And ultimately, it's on the leadership of the Congress to say, hey, we're going to pass this bill because it's the right thing to do, because America wants us to secure our borders, but they also want us to create a pathway for citizenship for these people, bring them out of the dark and into the light.
Exactly, and manage them, charge them taxes and let them pay with their dues.
Ensure that they haven't broken our laws, that they paid their taxes, that they get at the end of the line, that they learn English, all the things that, you know, we've all had to do, but do so understanding that these people come with dreams.
Right.
And their dreams and their work ethic, their family orientation is what makes us so strong. It's what replenishes us as a country.
At hindi naman po nakatakas si Mayor Villaraigosa sa ating pagtatanong tungkol sa mga criticisms sa kanya. Unang-una na dyan ay yung kanya daw pagdalo at pagpapakita sa iba't ibang mga concerts, red carpet events, and even sporting events. He answers that and more when we return. Don't go away.